Hi, everyone. How's it going? Yeah, it's not good morning, good afternoon. It's been a good day. I've really enjoyed meeting a lot of you and seeing and hearing what's been shared. It's been fantastic. I appreciate the opportunity to come speak to you. My name's Chris Engel. I'm with Avalanche Consulting. We're based out of Austin, Texas. We've done some work in the state I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But this session is about data and building tools and actually building all the career information that students, parents, and counselors need to understand where the jobs are right now. And that may be something that you've been working on or you want to work on. I'm going to share some tips. I'm going to share what we know with you and also show some of the work we've done in the state. I'll also offer to you to let you ask questions. And how does it sound to you? It's pretty loud up here, but it's good? All right, let's keep you awake. It's loud. All right, let's see. Let me take this down a little bit. How's that? All right. So feel free to ask questions. Keep them short if you don't mind. And if I feel like we need to wait to the end, I'll do that then. So first, I want to tell you a little bit more about Avalanche because I think it's helpful to know how we've gotten to where we are right now. We follow the market. We trend with the market. We've been tracking workforce development. So, we've got a lot we could share with you and some mutual sharing, learning. I also want to talk to you about the partnership strategies that we've been working on in the state. And then I'll jump into showing you how we've been developing tools over the years and then what we've developed recently that we think really fits a need in the marketplace. And then answer any questions you have. So about Avalanche, we're a small firm. We're based in Austin, Texas. There's 8 of us that work full-time. We've got some partners and contractors that work for us as well. We're founded as economic development strategists. The firm's been in business for 10 years. I've been in the business for 20, actually more than 20. I started originally at the Austin Chamber of Commerce in the research department. But really since 2008, 2009, we've been talking about how important workforce development is to economic development. The strategic doing session this morning mentioned the WIRED program. I was actually on one of the WIRED technical teams back in the day. Very innovative, just simply said, hey, we need to get workforce and economic development together. And at the time, it was revolutionary. All right, for me, coming out of Austin, Texas, I saw what it meant to have a great workforce and a lot of students coming out with great skills. We were creating jobs faster than almost anyone for many, many years. But for the rest of the country, telling economic developers, don't just focus on industrial recruitment. That's not going to get you where you want to go. Start focusing on developing the workforce and the quality of life assets that people want to see and want to actually live in. That was a bit new, but fortunately, over the years, we've been developing our workforce development sort of strategies and tools, and finally the world caught up. I mean, I think we've realized that now, with unemployment as low as it's ever been, in fact, it's lowest rate than 50 years. I mean, that's a remarkable statistic. Workforce development is now more important than anything that we're doing as a society. So you are at the center of the universe. All right? Did you know that? You are the most important thing happening in our economy, in our society right now. All right? Yeah, woo woo. Yeah, right. So we want to be a part of that, and we have been helping. So what we've done is really encouraged economic developers to make a much wider view of themselves and what their responsibilities are. I'll give you an example. So we've done a lot of work across the U.S. We've been very lucky to have a lot of great clients. We've worked, that map is outdated, but we've done a lot of work in the Southeast, like Florida, the Carolinas, and also Georgia, places like Jacksonville, Miami, Charleston, upstate South Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina. And also Atlanta, and I want to talk to you about Atlanta. So we went in and did a comprehensive economic development strategy for them. It was a 24-county region. Got a lot of leadership together, great public-private sector conversations. And after the end of all of the discussion about what should our economic strategy be, guess where they landed? on workforce development. And the mission, the entire mission, the goal for the entire strategy was to create an economy that works for everybody. And again, that is crazy to realize how critical workforce has become to the success of our cities and our economies. But how do you make an economy work for everybody? That's the question. So we're starting to really look at how housing is affecting the availability of labor, certainly how education is a big part of that, and infrastructure, and a lot of things that go into really enabling someone to be a part of an economy and also grow their careers. So I think that what we've done over the years is develop something we call an alignment strategy. The desire to see that your education system is operating in a way that delivers a workforce that is needed by local industry. So the supply of workers, new workers, is meeting the need of local demand. And that, again, is a relatively new concept. It's a bit hard to measure. We've done a lot of data analytics around it, but an example around a recent client working in Greensboro, North Carolina, we estimated that about 40% of graduates coming out of community colleges, training programs, and bachelor's universities, 40% weren't going to find a job opening in that community. 40%. The jobs either weren't there or they weren't there at sufficient quantities to absorb those new students. So that's a big number. So there's a lot of misalignment between these two sides of the equation. And what happens, of course, we all know this, there's a lot of underemployment. You know, kids have a lot of debt they can't pay off. They struggle. They start to fight about and start demanding things like, student loan forgiveness, all right? I think that the answer is let's start really thinking about what we're trying to do and not simply tell kids that getting a four-year degree is going to be the answer to everything. So this alignment strategy is something that we do. And of course, the alignment word works very well when you start talking about aligning education and the systems around developing a workforce with the systems around the economics and the infrastructure and the housing. So alignment along all of these pieces is a great word. So what we've done in Georgia, we first started working, after Atlanta, we got a contract to do work for LaGrange, Troup County. They're the home of Kia and manufacturing in the U.S. and Duracell and various other manufacturers, and they couldn't find a workforce. So we said, how do we grow the workforce pie? And this is a pretty standard set of solutions, all right? It's to develop workforce from within. It's to retain the workforce that you have that is coming out of school. It's to attract workers in. And this word at the top is re-engage, which is to realize that not everybody is in the workforce like they should be. In fact, labor participation rates right now are still lower than they were pre-recession. So according to our analysis, we think there are more than 10 million people that probably should be in the labor force for some reason. Some of them might be in school. Some of them might be, underemployed or unemployed. Whatever the reason is, we still haven't reached that level of participation. And that, to me, says that we're not making sure that people have the skills they need to find jobs. Again, a misalignment. In the case of Greensboro, in the area, I think we said there were about 10,000 people, real people that were probably needed to find a way back into the workforce. And we do talk to employers all over the country. We've been doing that for years, and we hear a lot about how the lack of middle skills is a big problem, particularly in manufacturing communities. A lot of you probably have a lot of manufacturers where you live, and that it's just simply a need to bring better information to students that don't have it. So we knew early on that this critical need was there, and so when we expanded the strategy to work for the Three Rivers region, which is a 10-county region, starting at Troup County, working your way east, all kind of at the periphery of Atlanta, we said we needed to make sure that after finding all the answers through all of our analysis and the strategy work and the feedback, that we had a place to put this information. And so we said early on that we wanted to develop a talent portal as the one-stop aggregator of information for people to find. and then build all of the communication systems around it to make it work. So then we said, well, what are people doing in talent portals right now? And everybody's probably seen these talent portals, right? These talent recruitment portals. Who's seen one of these? I don't think they really exist in Georgia. But here's an example of Minneapolis, all right? They probably have a tough time attracting people due to the cold, but they actually have a tremendous number of jobs. And so they built a portal. It's got information on what makes living there important and fun, how to find a job there, how to connect to people. And they've got a job base, a job data bank. Raleigh, North Carolina, the Research Triangle has one of the better ones out there. You know, it's beautiful, but it doesn't have a lot of great information on it. Again, it's more marketing director driven than it is, you know, really helping people figure out what they want to do with their life. Here's an example of somewhere in Missouri, St. Cloud, I believe, and they said, you know, they've invested a huge amount of money in a job board. Anybody here manage a job board or seen a job board locally? It's very hard to do. It takes a lot of time. The technology is difficult. The human requirements are difficult, and you end up, you know, sort of beating up on your employers to send you their job postings. That's just not a very good solution. Here's an example of a talent portal that I'd recommend. It's moveupstatesc.com. It just came out. And they came to the conclusion we did, which was not to develop your own job portal, but to really emphasize the target occupations that were in demand in your region, link to actual job postings, and connect to Indeed.com, which is the largest aggregator of job postings. And this linking is not expensive, all right? It's actually pretty free. If you're willing to link out, you don't have to connect and bring all of this data into your website. You just have to create dynamic links out. I'll show you how we did that in a minute. So our vision was to create a live, earn, learn portal that was there to, you know, certainly help with recruiting talent, but also to retain the talent and help people who are trying to make career choices understand what opportunities existed where they live. So it's extensive local data. It's county-based data, which is difficult to develop. We have information on jobs, internships, and apprenticeships, and also a career planning tool that should help you figure out what's a good fit for you and also what's a good fit for where I live. Particularly when you look at you know, people who are making you know, decisions about going to community college or getting some, you know, a certificate through a training provider. You know, they're really planning to find a job when they're done, all right? They're not going to pick up and move across state in most cases. So making sure that this match happens is really, really important, and it helps everybody. It helps the employers who want to fill jobs, and it helps the individuals who want to find jobs. So before I go on, I'm just curious, who all here is sort of in the business of either developing career information, pushing it out to constituents, or analyzing it to develop your strategies, your sector strategies? Okay, who wants to do more of this? Yeah? All right, how important is good career information? I'm just curious. Pretty good. Pretty up there, yeah, all right. You know, in fact, in Texas where we are, they've perceived a lack of good career information so much that the state legislator is writing legislation every time saying, do more to provide career information to students so that they can maximize their potential and not get burdened by debt. And so this happens all the time. And you know, the state agencies try their best